Tania Maduro and Syngin Colchester are struggling to navigate financial strain and unemployment of the 5th season of TLC's 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. The 30-year-olds from Colchester, Connecticut and Cape Town, South Africa respectively tied the knot in 2019 after a tumultuous first 90 days in the US. But just a few months later, disaster struck when Tania was badly injured in a car accident. The injury, as well as the intensity of her physical therapy appointments, pushed Tania out of her usual job as a bartender. Syngin got his work visa expedited, but he had trouble finding work in his new country. On a recent episode of 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Tania visited her doctor to see when she might be able to go back to work. Unfortunately, though, she didn't get the news she wanted to hear. On 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Tania headed out to an appointment with Dr. Jeffrey Miller, an orthopedic surgeon. Dr. Miller planned to give Tania the results of a series of x-rays on her foot and an MRI on her knee, both of which were injured in her accident. Meanwhile, Syngin headed to a job interview at a local bar. Tania reflected on the last few months, which had been frustrating, especially so early on in her marriage to Syngin. "I'm definitely not 100% and my life basically went on pause," she said of her injuries. "I've basically been stuck for months. It's frustrating that it's been such a long healing process, so I'm just hoping for the best." Dr. Miller told TLC producers that he had been working with Tania to coordinate her care for several months now. "Tania came to me about 3 months ago," he said. "She had a very bad car accident and severe injuries to her right foot." While Tania's surgeon said the bones in her foot were aligning well, he had some bad news to share with her as well. In addition to revealing that she had bruises on the bones of both knees and now need physical therapy for her knees as well as her foot, he warned Tania that she might begin to experience signs of arthritis in just 2 years' time. Tania was still hopeful that she might be able to resume working in order to provide for herself and Syngin. "How long do you think until I can start bartending again?" the 90-Day Fiancé star wanted to know. But her face fell when she heard Dr. Miller's disappointing answer. "We're looking at a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks now," he said of the possibility of her returning to work. What's more, he warned Tania she might not be able to bartend again anytime soon, or even ever. "And then we're going to start to tell if standing on your foot for that period of time and hustling back and forth as a bartender can be tolerated," he told the 90-Day Fiancé star. "Quite frankly, we may find out whether you'll ever be able to go back to that job." Tania looked defeated and deflated as she reflected on the surgeon's bad news about her job. She had always worked in bartending and food service, so this was a major chance in the 90-Day Fiancé star's life. "Hearing the news about possibly not being able to bartend again in the future has really hit home for me," she said sadly. "Bartending has always been a huge source of income for me, and I feel like I haven't even fully processed it yet." Now Tania admitted she didn't even know what she would do. "Because it's hard to plan, it's hard to figure out what things I can do, jobs, working, because I need to just take it literally a day at a time with this," the 90-Day Fiancé star mused. "I feel like I have a longer road ahead of me than I thought I did, so it was a little more of a downer than I was hoping for," Tania confessed. "And now that I'm going to be out of work even longer, I'm going to have to rely on Syngin a lot more than I even expected." Tania also admitted she was worried about how Syngin would react to the news. While he'd been looking for work in the US, he hadn't known that he would have to provide financially for both of them for so long. She wasn't sure if he was ready to take on that level of responsibility, especially so soon in their young marriage. That's it for now, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to stay tuned.